Hello. So we are going to build this. It's going to be 2D player who can run around, jump on a floor. So if that is something that sounds exciting, then continue watching and I'll show you how to do it. Here we are. So let's put together a simple 2D game. So we've got a brand new project. This is all looking pretty scary, don't worry. Press 2D, and now we're laughing. So if I run the current scene, actually, that's just before we do that, exactly. Let's create a 2D node. Let me just rename this as our main scene, main node. Blah, blah, blah. Select current, blah, blah, blah. Save as main scene. And here's our game. Alright, this I can handle. Now we want to add a player. Okay, plus for players, basically movable user input moving thing, you want to use a character body pretty much. So there's a character body and it is in the room. This is our player. What this is asking us to do is to add a collision shape to our character, and this allows it to inherit physics properties to collide with other obstacles like the floor, walls, etc. So let me do what it's telling me to do. It's telling me to add a collision shape 2D to the character body 2D. Okay, let's have a look for collision shape 2D. Add that. And now I have another little warning. A shape must be provided for collision shape 2D. Oh, so we've got shape over here. What options do we have? These are our collision shape options. Some of these might look a little bit weird. Let's just create a box. So now we have a little collision box for our player. However, let's say that I did move the player into the middle of the room. At the moment, you're not going to see this. This collision shape is not visible when the game is running. So we still can't see our player. So just to give it something to look at, I can actually drag and drop the icon SVG somewhere. Somewhere. So, for example, if I just drag it into the room like that, it's added as a sprite 2D node. Delete one of these. And now that it's in the room, I can then move it to be a child of the character body. So now, if I move this player, everything is bound to the root node here. So let me line these up. Actually, what I want to do really is reset the position on this to be 0 basically. But what I've accidentally done is I've also dragged across the actual main element scene here. And that's what this position is relative to. So let me drag, undo, everything's back to normal. This, I don't want to be selectable. So I'm going to lock that node. But now the player is movable, but that's going to stay where it was. So let's do the same thing again with the icon. Oops. And make the icon a child. And this is, to be honest, this is where I wanted to reset the position of the character body. Get that back to 0. This is 0, this is 0. Okay. This just gives me, to be honest, it's not doing much for me, but let me just show that you can add a collision box to this, blah blah blah, drag it into the middle of the room, and now we can see our player. Awesome. I have messed up the alignment of these scenes a little bit, that they want to be children of the character here. This collision shape specifically. And the last thing to do to get this to move is I press the script button on the character body 2D, add a script. In here, what's important is you do want to use the template, you do want to use the basic movement template, and create. So it's opened up the code here at the moment, who cares? But if you run the game, our player's going to start falling, which is pretty cool. And also I should be able to wiggle him around a little bit with the arrow keys. That's good. Let's imagine this game doesn't have gravity. So if I, what did I do to click that? Just click the little scene or the little script icon beside the character body scene. That opens up its script code. So all we need to know about this physics process, basically this runs once per game frame, almost. So imagine this is one frame. All of this happens every frame on repeat. So we don't want gravity, we don't want to fall through the floor. I can delete some of this. We've got a handle jump. I can show you what that does, but for now, let's delete it because we don't have jumping. So what do we have left? Get an input direction from the player using the arrow keys that are assigned to these action buttons, and that's going to move you left and right. This move and slide function, that's what actually processes the movement. Here we're kind of setting up our variables, our speed and velocity and direction. And the move and slide commands, which is part of character bodies 2Ds, I think. Let's see. It's part of a character body 2D. Yeah. This is the magic. So if I run the game, I can move left and right now. That's awesome. But let me finally show you how to put a floor in, if that's the kind of game you want. So I've just undone the gravity deletion and the jumping deletion. But this obviously would just fall through the floor, so we need something to act as the floor. To add a floor to this, we're going to use another body. We're going to use a static body. So if I type body, for example, body 2D, there's basically these types of bodies. At the moment, I think if you just think of character body, you're moving something around. Static body, it's a fixed object. It doesn't get moved around by gravity, for example. So create one of these. This also wants a collision shape. So let's add a collision shape 2D. Also, we can actually experiment with a few different things. Let me start with the rectangle. So I'm selecting the static body and the collision box attached to it. And if I just move it here, remember this is going to be invisible at the moment, but the player will fall and land on it. And jump around. So if you want a really simple way to draw the actual rectangle here, you can do a couple of things. For example, you could use this icon again if you wanted to, drag it under the static body 2D and just stretch it out so it looks like it's close to the collision shape. This would be used for like placeholder assets while you're getting things set up, but there you go. Something visual to stand on. But if you don't want to use the icon, then another simple trick you can use is something called color rect. So this is just going to display a solid color rectangle. That's good enough. Here it is. And same thing, just drag it across your collision shape. And the player will now fall on this. And this is your moving 2D character player. And that's that really. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this has been helpful to some of you. Maybe you've learned something. I hope it feels not as daunting as maybe you first thought. Whenever you opened up the Godot interface for the first time and you started seeing like menus with lots and lots of scenes, but all you want to do is something very straightforward like this. This is just the simple guide to get exactly where you want to be. I'm thinking of making a few more of these, well, quite a few more over time, but starting with just real basic stuff. So give me any ideas of things you'd like to learn or understand, and I'll see if I can cover it for you. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'll try and get another one of these out relatively soon, but no promises. And I hope you have an amazing day. Goodbye.